Hey there, I'm Adrienne, your go-to guide on this empowering journey to self-love and authenticity. I've transformed my own struggles into strengths, and now I help others navigate their path to their inner knowing and create personal fulfillment. On this show, we're not shying away from tough conversations. We're diving headfirst into topics like self-worth, overcoming limiting beliefs, challenging societal norms, and creating a life that's not just successful, but truly fulfilling. We're all about blending heartfelt, soul-searching chats with practical, actionable strategies. Think of this podcast as your trusty compass on the path to your most authentic life, mixed with a cozy fireside chat with a dear friend. Ready to uncover your true self and lead a life that's in sync with your deepest desires? You're in the right place, friend. Welcome to the Live Your Truth, Love Your Life podcast. Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of Live Your Truth, Love Your Life. I'm Adrienne, and I'm so thrilled to have you here. Last episode, we delved into the transformative concept of renewal, and today we're continuing that conversation. This episode is all about how sometimes less is more when it comes to your life. It's all about letting go to make room for new opportunities, relationships, and a sense of well-being. There's something a bit counterintuitive about letting go, isn't there? It's like when you're holding onto a rope so tight your hands ache, but only when you release your grip do you actually feel free. Many of us have a hard time letting go of jobs, relationships, opportunities, or even thought patterns because we believe that holding on to them is what gives them value. But sometimes it's the letting go that truly opens up a whole new world for us. I mentioned before on the podcast that I stayed for almost 12 years in a job that I knew was not right for me. But like I said, it can be tough to let go, even when you know something isn't right for you. But it's when you actually let go of it that a whole new world of opportunity opens. So let's talk about choice. Sometimes the decision to let go is completely ours. Maybe it's a toxic relationship, a job that doesn't fulfill us, like in the case of me, or negative thought patterns. These are things we can choose to distance ourselves from. Sure, it's not easy, but it's doable. But what happens when the choice isn't ours? When circumstances or people make the decision for us? It's a lot harder, but that's where the power of perspective comes in. You can choose to see it as a loss, or you can choose to see it as an opportunity for something new to flourish. I strongly believe in the power of choice and perspective. We're always telling ourselves stories and making meaning of what's going on around us. And sometimes when things that we don't choose are happening, such as an illness, a loss of job, somebody breaks up with us, those things specifically aren't within our control. But what we can do is choose how we look at it. It's difficult, I know, especially when you're in the thick of emotions, but really to take a step back and realize that you control your attitude, you control your perspective. It's empowering. Let's dig deep for a moment. Think about what might be draining your soul right now. What are you avoiding? What causes you stress or fear when you wake up in the morning? Maybe it's a difficult conversation you've been putting off or a task that's been haunting you for weeks. Once you've identified it, ask yourself, how is this serving me? What is it adding to my life? If the answer is nothing good, it might be time to let it go, either by confronting it or by altering your perspective on it. Sometimes the biggest thing holding us back is our own mindset. Maybe you're wrestling with negative thoughts, assumptions, even jealousy. These emotional and mental blocks can really block the flow of positive energy in our lives. So, the question to ask yourself is, what thought patterns do I need to eliminate to make room for more positive thoughts and feelings? It can be tough sometimes to identify these things, but one thing I have found that works is journaling. If you get in a habit of starting your day with kind of a brain dump, putting everything down on paper, any negative thoughts, any negative emotions, anything weighing on you when you wake up in the morning, you start to see those negative thought patterns. And when you become aware of them, you can change them. Most of us have things we've had to let go of in the past, willingly or not. Maybe it was a missed job opportunity, a lost love, or a shift in a long-standing friendship. Though it might have been painful, it's worth asking, what new growth came from that experience? Did that missed job lead you down a career path you love even more? Did that ended relationship give you the time and space to focus on your personal growth? Just some things to think about. Sometimes letting go of things really makes space for new things to come into our lives. So, how can we take practical steps to make room in our lives for what truly serves us? First thing is awareness. The first step is recognizing what needs to be let go. The second thing is acceptance. Understand that it's okay to release things that don't serve you anymore. The third thing is action. Take concrete steps, whether it's having that difficult conversation, quitting that soul sucking job, or seeking help for emotional hurdles. It doesn't really do you very much good to become aware of something you need to let go, to become at peace with letting it go, if you don't actually let it go and take steps to move forward so that way those new things can come into your life. To wrap up, remember, letting go isn't about loss. It's about making room for something better, something more aligned with who you are and where you want to go. It's not an end, but a new beginning, a renewal, if you will. So that's it for this week's episode, my friends. I just wanted to touch base on the idea of letting go of things that are not serving you to make space for new things to come in. On that theme of renewal, sometimes one of the most productive steps that we can take is letting go of what doesn't serve us before we add new things in. So don't forget to tune in to next week for another deep dive into living your truth and loving your life. We'll be talking more about renewal. Take some time this weekend to connect with yourself and remember you're always enough just as you are. Thank you for listening to Live Your Truth, Love Your Life. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, rate, and review. And also feel free to share it on social media. I would love it if we could get the word out. Thank you, and we will talk soon. That's it for today's episode, my friends. Thanks so much for joining me on the Live Your Truth, Love Your Life podcast. To get even more out of today's conversation, don't forget to swing by the show notes and download your freebie. Want to keep the conversation going? I'd love to hear what spoke to you most today. Head on over to my Instagram at Live Your Truth, Love Your Life and drop me a comment. I'm always excited to connect and learn more about you. Remember, the journey towards living your truth and loving your life is a rewarding one. New episodes are dropping each Monday and Thursday, and I can't wait for next time. Until then, have a fantastic week.